precisely 6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. The President says government has achieved an unprecedented land rights success without a revolution. 3,000 schools with A-level subject streams will be digitized by next year. 1,000 more undergraduates would be offered the Mahapula Scholarship during the year. The Health Trade Unions Alliance and the officials of the Finance Ministry will hold a meeting today regarding their demands. Minister Ali Sabri says the government expects to attract more $5 billion in foreign funds in the next 2 years. Foreign news: at least 28 killed in strike on Russia-held Ukraine city. Sports: first ever Women's National Super League cricket commences from today. Local news in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe underscored the accomplishment of the current government in providing land rights to the people of the country without a revolution amidst numerous global movements advocating for land rights. Highlighting the initial success of the present government in rescuing the country from bankruptcy, President Wickremesinghe also emphasized additional achievements such as the Aswasama program benefiting 2 million people and salary increases for 1.5 million government employees. The President emphasized that the government achieved significant progress for the country's betterment in just 2 years with the support of a partial parliament. He encouraged everyone to contemplate the potential advancements the country could achieve with the backing of all parliament members. President Wickremesinghe made these remarks during a ceremony at Rangiri Dambulu Stadium yesterday, where 10,000 freehold titles were awarded to farmers as part of the first phase of the Urumaya program. The President highlighted that granting land rights to foreigners under the Government Land Ordinance Act would not have been an impediment into providing the same rights to the people. Minister Susil Premajan says that 3,000 schools with A-level subject streams will be digitized by next year. Through this program, the children will be able to obtain the benefits of education directly through cutting-edge technology. The minister made these remarks at a function held at the Hindu College, Jaffna. He further mentioned that teachers will be trained from next month to implement this program. Smart boards will be distributed to the students as well. The minister also emphasized that everyone should be committed to upgrade the education system of the country. The relevant education officials all over the country will be informed in this regard during the next few weeks. The Director General of the Mahapula Scholarship Fund, Parakrama Bandara, says that 1,000 additional undergraduates would be offered the Mahapula Scholarship during this year. 16,000 undergraduates already benefit from the Mahapula Fund. The value of the fund is 17 billion rupees. A new program would be launched to uplift the nutrition of the undergraduates. Plans are underway to establish farms in the available spaces of the local universities. The Director General further mentioned that plans are afoot to increase the amount of Mahapula Scholarship in the future. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news. We continue with more stories here at home. The Health Trade Unions Alliance and the officials of the Finance Ministry will hold a meeting today regarding their demands. This meeting will be held under the guidance of the President regarding their demands for a payment hike. The head of the Public Service United Nurses Union, the Venerable Muruthettuwe Anandathera, said that the members of their trade union have decided to report for duty in civil attire. The Thera said that this measure does not affect the services of the health sector. Foreign Minister Ali Sabri says that the government expects to attract about $5 billion in foreign funds in the next 2 years once it is able to finalize the restructuring of its overseas debt. The nation defaulted on its overseas debt in May 2022 after a severe shortage of foreign exchange reserves triggered the worst financial crisis since independence from Britain in 1948. Foreign Minister Ali Sabri told Reuters that Sri Lanka has since made progress on about $11 billion of bilateral debt restructuring and hopes to have agreements in place with all key creditors, including bondholders, by May at the latest. It will then focus on kick-starting major infrastructure projects suspended during the crisis, including a highway and expansion of the main airport near Colombo and a $2 billion light railway project with Japan. That's local news for the moment.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
The Agrarian Development Department says that 9.6 billion rupees has been given to farmer communities so far to continue their paddy cultivation and other agricultural crop cultivation for the 2023-2024 Maha season. Minister Mahinda Amaraveera said that measures have been taken to deposit the money to the accounts of 1.2 million farmers. Cabinet approval has been received in this regard.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Several roads in the Kollupiti and Slave Island domains will be temporarily closed as part of a three-phase maintenance project to lay underground pipelines. According to police, the stretch from Navamavata to Slave Island railway station on Sri Uttarananda Mavata will be closed until the 19th of February. As part of the second phase, the road from Perahera Mavata to Navamavata along Sri Uttarananda Mavata will be closed from the 20th of February until the 4th of March. Roads in the vicinity of the Rotunda Gardens Junction and Perahera Mavata will subsequently be closed until the 11th of March.
Coming up, World News.
World News headlines. At least 28 killed in strike on Russia-held Ukraine city. At least 10 killed in attack on Pakistan police station. Huge atom smasher bid to find missing 95% of universe. World News in detail. Russia has said at least 28 people died in a strike on a bakery in the Russian-occupied eastern Ukrainian town. The building, which also housed a restaurant named Adriatic, was hit on Saturday. Russian officials said servicemen, women and a child were killed in the strike. The Kremlin said Western-supplied weapons were used in the attack, which is called a terrorist act by Ukraine. At least 10 officers have been killed in an hours-long assault on a police station in Pakistan. The officers lost their lives after more than 30 militants launched the attack yesterday. 4 others were injured in the 2.5-hour battle, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa's provincial police chief told news agency AFP. It is not clear who was behind the attack or if it is related to the election being held on Thursday. Finally, on World News, researchers at the world's biggest particle accelerator in Switzerland have submitted proposals for a new, much larger super collider. Its aim is to discover new particles that would revolutionize physics and lead to a more complete understanding of how the universe works. If approved, it will be 3 times larger than the current giant machine, but its £12 billion price tag has raised some eyebrows, with one critic describing the expenditure as reckless. That's World News. And on development news, Hong Kong's home carrier Cathay Pacific, much-awaited direct flights between Sri Lanka and Hong Kong are officially back following a 4-year hiatus, resuming a legacy of serving the Sri Lankan market for over 30 years. The first flight from Bandaranaike International Airport successfully took off recently, marking the return of Cathay Pacific 3 times a weekly service from Colombo, operating on Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays. Flights are operated by the airline's Airbus A330 aircraft.
Moving on with sports news.
Sri Lanka Cricket for the first time will launch the Women's National Super League. Both the 50-over competition and the T20 tournament will be held back-to-back during this month. The 50-over tournament, which will start today, is a major elevation for women's cricket in the country as they get to compete in the country's elite domestic competition. The tournament will see 4 teams competing, namely Colombo, Kandy, Dambulla and Galle. 60 players will be in action during the competition, which will be played in Colombo.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න as වහගෙන දැකපු ගීත හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Consumer Affairs Authority is set to initiate raids targeting the sale of underweight bread in bakeries. Director of the CAA Special Raids Unit, Sanjay Erasinghe, told the media that raids will be conducted in every district. A gazette in this regard was issued recently as prior notice and to make preparations to maintain the standard weight of a loaf of bread and half a loaf of bread. It is mandatory to display a weighing scale at the bakery or shop for consumers to weigh the bread. The authority requested the consumers lodge a complaint, if any, to the CAA via hotline 1977 if a weighing scale is not available at the bakery or the shop.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න as වහගෙන දැකපු ගීත හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
And on economic news, Thailand's Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin has called a meeting with the newly appointed CEO and board chairman of PTT, the state-owned listed oil and gas company, to discuss support for Thai startups in investing in Sri Lanka's solar farm. Srettha, in his capacity as finance minister, invited PTT CEO Kongkarpan Intaraj and PTT board chairman Chatchai Promlet to Government House on Monday. The Finance Ministry is a major shareholder of PTT Public Company Limited, or simply PTT, Thai media reported. He said that he urged the two executives to seek investment opportunities overseas, especially in Sri Lanka's floating solar farm, which requires more funding.
Weather report.
Prevailing showery conditions are expected to be reduced in the western Sabaragamulo, central, southern, Uva and eastern provinces from today onwards. Showers or thundershowers may occur at a few places in the Sabaragamulo province and in the Kalutara, Galle and Madura districts after 2 p.m. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere in the island. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the central and Sabaragamulo provinces and in the Galle and Madura districts during the morning. That's the weather update. Back to the headlines before we wind up this bulletin of news. The President says government has achieved an unprecedented land rights success without a revolution. 3,000 schools with A-level subject streams will be digitized by next year. 1,000 more undergraduates would be offered the Mahapala Scholarship during this year. The Health Trade Unions Alliance and the officials of the Finance Ministry will hold a meeting today regarding their demands. Minister Ali Sabri says that the government expects to attract more $5 billion in foreign funds within the next 2 years. Foreign news: at least 28 killed in strike on Russia-held Ukraine city. Sports news: first ever Women's National Super League cricket commences from today. With that, we conclude this bulletin of news, and it's back to Soundly this morning to give you some good company.